Arsenal are looking to sign Danish midfielder Christian Norgaard from Brentford, and it's fair to say that it's been met with some skepticism. So in this video, we're going to be taking a look at why he could be a perfect signing for Arsenal, including a look at a key reason that Mikel Arteta wants the central midfielder, how he fills the void that both Jorginho and Partey have left at Arsenal, and how he could unlock a possible new way to progress forwards for the Arsenal. Christian Norgaard is an incredibly underrated Premier League midfielder. He has quality, he has progressive ability, and he's also got a good defensive tendency. And there are going to be obvious comparisons between himself and Thomas Partey, but let me just stop the panic for Arsenal fans right now. He's not going to be taking the slot of Martin Zubimendi as the main progressor within this Arsenal setup. I can still see Zubimendi playing that sixth role and doing it pretty brilliantly. But what he will be doing, Norgaard, is filling that almost secondary lying role, the role that Jorginho played. But Jorginho came in to almost replace Partey at times. So when we compare Norgaard to Partey, we need to have some similarity. There need to be some lines drawn. And we can see a couple of tendencies that have started to overlap. Namely, when we look at the heat map, the areas of the pitch that they both take up. They move centrally and then move out to this right-hand side. Again, Thomas Partey moves centrally and then out to this right-hand side. So already we're starting to see some similarities. And when going forwards, Norgaard actually has quite a lot of attacking intent for a central defensive midfielder. 5 goals compared to Thomas Partey's 4 and a higher XG. But a key statistic that I think Mikel Arteta and his coaching staff have looked at is Norgaard's aerial duels. Norgaard has won 1.5 aerial duels per 90. That is a huge increase in comparison to Thomas Partey's 0.8. And when we think about the physicality of this Arsenal setup, although they still have Declan Rice, they've lost Partey and they've lost Jorginho. Not that Jorginho was going to be a major aerial outlet, but they do have Zubimendi, who is a little bit more diminutive. So they need a little bit more physical presence. And when we look at Norgaard's aerial duels won, 61% of his aerial duels he wins in comparison to Thomas Partey's 50%. That means 1 out of 2 he's actually winning. In comparison to Norgaard, which is much higher. You can see why Mikel Arteta might want it, especially due to Arsenal's focus on aerial duels last season. And when we actually take a look at Norgaard's goals, 3 of Norgaard's 5 goals actually from last season are headers. So he's good in the air, he's good with the ball at his feet, and he can progress forwards when necessary. So far, it seems like a no-brainer. And it's these kind of moments and situations when we think about Norgaard's aerial skill set that I think Mikel Arteta and his coaching staff will really want to utilise. Typically, when Arsenal take a free kick or a corner, it's normally Declan Rice taking that actual set piece. And with the loss of Thomas Partey and then the inclusion of Martin Zubimendi, that's a general net loss when it comes to height and physical presence. Added in a player like Norgaard in this position, and all of a sudden you've really catered for that problem and you're giving yourself another aerial duel winner to be able to go forwards. And in this particular case, we get a really good example of Norgaard's movement, going from this melee of players into a zone that he knows he's going to be able to take advantage of in this front post area. So as the ball gets whipped in by Umbermo, but of course we can imagine it's Declan Rice in this particular scenario. As it gets whipped in, you've got good movement from Norgaard right here. His ability to then see that, take that moment, and get his head on a fantastic opportunity. It obviously goes in, and he manages to score the goal. But I mentioned the aerial presence that he could have within this Arsenal side, and I think it's an incredibly important part of Arsenal's game. And we know how much they focused on it last season, and I imagine they're going to want to bolster that physical presence in that midfield for next season. But it's not just through set pieces that Arsenal fans are going to be able to see Christian Norgaard's quality. It's also through his great vision from that 6 role. As I mentioned previously, he'll be taking up the mantle of Jorginho, normally replacing that Partey role as the lone dominating 6. When Zubimendi needs to come out to the side, Norgaard can come in and then continue to progress the ball forwards while also maintaining a good defensive presence. Here we can see him in that 6 role, looking to find a pass out out onto that right-hand side. His vision is open, he's looking, he's aware of his surroundings, and he's ready to play a pass. Now he's going to play a long ball over the top, which is something that I think in the Premier League we're seeing less and less of. So it's so refreshing to see a midfielder look up and try to find a long raking pass over to the right-hand side. When we see this, I'm really thinking about Thomas Partey, I'm thinking about Bukayo Saka, and the link-up that Norgaard and Saka could have. He sees the run, he's about to play the pass, and he whips it over towards that right-hand side. Now, immediately what this does is it gives Mbeumo a fantastic ability to have a 1v1 against his respective fullback. And now if we think about the amount of space and time that Bukayo Saka could have if a pass like that was played by Norgaard, it already really starts to give you thoughts and ideas about how Arsenal could progress forwards with a really quick switch of play and a really good progressive move. This is something that Norgaard offers, a really good opportunity to progress the ball quickly, while also having that defensive stability as that main six. Speaking of his defensive attributes, he's also very good at reading danger and then snuffing it out. Here we have a little mistake that's made at the Brentford back line. You've got Collins looking to pass back towards his goalkeeper, but the goalkeeper misreads it, he's not set, and he makes a mistake as the ball comes back to him. It's not a great pass, admittedly, but he ends up swiping at it, and that means that the ball goes awry, it goes into chaos, and we need to take focus on Norgaard here. If we just take it back for just a moment, look how far away he is from the play here. He's not ready for the ball to be swiped out, he's not ready for the ball to be in and around this area, but he pins himself onto it really quickly. He's got good determination, he reads the play very well, and he manages to get a fantastic interception right here. He gets a block on, he gets his foot into this scenario, and he's able to recover the situation for his team. That's the kind of defensive awareness that I think Arsenal are going to need if they're going to have a player like Norgaard playing that 6 role in replacement of Zubimendi when he comes off the pitch, or even when you're looking to have him play one of the matches in replacement of Jorginho. Really good defensive awareness and a proper player. Earlier on, I mentioned a possible new way for Arsenal to progress forwards, having new players in new roles, and it's that adaptability and flexibility that I think has been synonymous with Arsenal and Mikel Arteta's sides for the past few years, and Norgaard helped push that to another level, I believe. When we think about Norgaard coming into the side, of course you have that stable role of being a 6 and replacing Martin Zubimendi when he's not available. This allows Declan Rice to still go forwards, it still allows Martin Odegaard to go forwards, and it gives Arsenal their normal defensive and attacking shape. We also could have the likes of Miles Lewis-Skelly coming in, inverting and really meeting Norgaard to give them a base to progress, also giving Arsenal that box formation. But what if there was something a little bit different? What if he didn't replace Zubimendi? What if Declan Rice wasn't available? What if Havertz wasn't available? Arsenal need those options. Arsenal needs that flexibility. So let's take a look at what that could look like. What if you had Martin Zubimendi and Norgaard together as a midfield pairing? Declan Rice isn't available because he's being rested and Kai Havertz is injured, let's say, just as a hypothetical scenario. What could you see going forwards? You don't want Zubimendi going forwards, you don't want Norgaard going forwards. They're your two main pivots. What you could see is the unlocking and unleashing of Miles Lewis-Skelly here, from that left back role into an attacking 8. This is something that we've seen quite often with the likes of an Enzo Maresca or even a couple of other managers, and I believe that Mikel Arteta could do something similar. When we think about the attacking prowess of Miles Lewis-Skelly, his athletic nature, but also his ability to progress forwards, I don't think it's out of the realms of possibility for Arsenal to look at this and think it might be a tactical option for a certain amount of games this season. It gives Miles Lewis-Skelly the ability to progress forwards. His athleticism could give space to the left winger and the striker. You've got a good defensive pillar in Martin Zubimendi and Christian Norgaard, still ability on both sides to be able to progress the ball. You've also, at the same time, got defensive solidity with both Zubimendi and Norgaard helping each other out, so not one of them is alone. It also helps with that progression. You've got Martin Odegaard still in that attacking midfield role out on that right-hand side that he likes, but you've got an added bit of athleticism, you've got an added bit of quality, possibly whipped crosses into the box for the certain striker, and it gives Arsenal yet another way to progress forwards. And this is a new way that is facilitated and given the ability for by adding Christian Norgaard to the side. It's a radical solution, but it is a different option, and something that, while it might not be likely, it's something that Mikel Arteta could look towards in a pinch. But of course, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below on Christian Norgaard joining Arsenal and whether you think it's a good deal or not. I'd love to hear from you, so please do get involved. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, I hope you learned something new, and hope to see you in the next one. But until then, my friends, take care.